Welcome to usmle Sarthi. We are committed to empowering IMGs. We're excited to guide you on your match journey. Don't forget to click subscribe and turn on notifications so you can get notified whenever we add new content. Also, follow us on Instagram and Twitter for the latest tips and tricks regarding everything USMLE. Now, let's dive into it.
Good morning, everyone. So this is a special session on program signaling, as many of you have requested, especially for those of you who are going into the match this season. And it's my privilege to introduce and welcome Dr. Yousef Waly. He recently started his residency, got 17 interviews in the first attempt as an IMG, and he is going to talk about program signaling. Before I hand it over to him, some housekeeping. You can ask questions in chat. Me and my team are going to be there answering. So Sejal and Sonia from my team will be there to answer and give you the appropriate links to our videos and other appropriate matters. With that, let me just give it to Dr. Waly and Yousef, welcome and take it away.
All right. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, good evening, whichever part of the world you're in right now. Let me just share my screen as well.
So maybe it'll be a good idea to start with a bit of an introduction. You know, I was very brief, but why don't you talk a bit about yourself?
Of course. So my name is Yousef Waly, or Dr. Waly. I was fortunate enough to have matched first attempt. I was fortunate to have 17 categorical interviews in internal medicine. I applied to approximately 120, and I preach heavily being very strategic with your application. And I personally did not have the highest score. I had a very average score. And I think a lot of my success came from being strategic with the application. And a lot of what I have to say, as well as the Sarthi team has to offer, can help you achieve success similar to what I've witnessed as well. So without further ado, so pretty much, can you guys see my slides?
Yes, we can. And as he gets started, so I also want to mention that he is joining our panel. He's already joined. So he'll be helping out Sarthi students as well in their interview preparation, application review. Those of you who are enrolled with us in all aspects of the match. So just be aware of that.
Yeah, excellent. Okay. So pretty much we have program signaling and geographical preferences, and there are important aspects of the ERAS application starting actually last year. They became a core part of the ERAS application. The years before that, it was more of a supplemental aspect that people could opt in or out. Now it's more of a core aspect of the application, and it's very, very important, very useful, and being very strategic with it can help completely elevate your experience and change your success and how successful you are throughout this cycle. So a signal pretty much is something that we're gonna focus heavily on, and signals are pretty much a way you can portray genuine interest in a program. Think of them as very valuable currencies that are limited in the hands of many, and it's a way that you can portray how invested you are in a program, and it's a way that you are able to raise your hand in a very large program, in a very large crowd. Think of it as, a program receiving 6,000, 7,000 applications. Your signal is very valuable. And if you use a signal on that program, they will see that as a flag. It's very important and crucial that you also, understand that not all programs, value all applicants, the same. Certain programs want applicants who signal them and would only interview them because they've shown genuine passion, genuine interest, and investment into, their program. So, when it comes to signaling, there were some updates and changes when it comes to the number of signals, some of which include just numbers, some of which include the tiering of what signals you have, so gold versus silver signaling, and we'll touch briefly on that. But pretty much I highlighted the main signals or the main specialties that have signals that a lot of the applicants apply to. Anesthesiology was one that many are passionate about, that has 5 gold, 10 silver. Emergency medicine is one that people love to apply to as well. So that has 5 signals that are all the same tier. Family medicine also has 5 signals that are all the same tier. General surgery has 15 signals, all the same tier. Internal medicine had the biggest change this year. So yet last year was 7 signals. This year it is now 15 total signals, 3 gold and 12 silver. Neurology has 8 signals now, and pediatrics has 5. Psychiatry has 10. So these just give you an idea of, what the currency you hold and how much of it you have, and how you can start thinking strategically when it comes to using these signals. And the Sarthi team can definitely help you when it comes to strategizing and knowing exactly which programs you can pick in order to maximize your chances and give them a signal, and hopefully land an interview and potentially even match there. So when it comes to picking your signals, it's really important that you use your signals that you have genuine passion, genuine interest in the program. Don't just signal programs because it will increase your chances in getting an interview. Yes, that is part of the strategy aspect of things, but it's very important that you feel comfortable and feel genuinely interest when it comes to signaling these programs. In addition, you want to pick programs that will, help elevate and escalate your application in the eyes of those programs, and then increase your chances when it comes to gaining an interview at these places. So make sure that you use these valuable currencies, these valuable signals at places that you're passionate about, and will give you a good interview turnout rate. And of course, the Sarthi team has, very extensive tools. They have a list that you guys could go through based on your credentials as well, where you have historical data from a lot of the match Sarthi students that could be used as well. So get in touch with the Sarthi team, and they'll help make these resources available when you're a Sarthi student, of course. In addition, it's very important that you understand the perspective of a program. Some programs value signaling more than others. Again, it's a very valuable currency, and some programs want a gold signal, which is more valuable and more rare to obtain versus a signal that is silver. So understand the perspective of a program and make sure that you understand that, it's a valuable currency and they want to feel that you are interested. And it's very important that you look for information online available to see how each program differs and how they view a signal. Is it incorporated in the ranking process, or is it just when it comes to interview selection? The next thing we'll talk about is geographical preferences. So geographical preferences are also a core aspect of the ERAS application this year. And using this will strategically help elevate the number of interviews you can get as well. And obviously it's very different from case to case, from person to person. And working with us, we will be able to cater your whole application, making every specific piece of your signals, your geographical preferences help align with your goals, and of course align with maximizing your chances of matching. So choosing a geographical area will help maximize your chances of gaining interviews in those areas. And most programs would prefer to have, geographical preferences in their area, because it gives them the feeling, the sensation that you are invested in this area, will most likely stay in this area, are connected to this area, and in turn, continue to give back long term to the area. So, you can pick 3 geographical preferences, this year. And I just put the groups here together. So you have New England is a common one that people enjoy. It has, main attraction spots of Massachusetts, Connecticut. Middle Atlantic is a big one as well. You have New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. And then East, North, Central, Michigan is a hot spot there. And then we have, South Atlantic, Florida, people love South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia. And then we have East, South Central, Tennessee is one that people enjoy applying to. And then West, South Central, Texas is the big hotspot in that geographical preference. And then you have the Pacific as well, where the main aspect is, or the main attraction is Washington, Oregon, and California. There's also an option where you can pick no preference at all, and that's something we kind of prefer to stay away from. We advise against that. Yes, you are applying to many programs, but no preference seems like a waste of a resource that could otherwise, help push your application outwards and help you gain more interviews in geographical preferences instead. So that's just something to keep in the back of your mind. So here's just a big map I put here showing the different geographical preferences that are available on ERAS that you can select. And you can pretty much select 3 of these colors here. A lot of people enjoy, again, Middle Atlantic, which is on the far right side, New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. People love South Atlantic as well. And then people love New England as well. But again, these things change from person to person, case by case, and your preferences and your goals. And the Sarthi team does an amazing job working with the students, making sure that these things align with what you're looking for and, maximizing your chances, of course. So again, be smart when you're picking your geographical regions. It's very important that you have 3 geographical regions. Make sure that you're picking regions that have a high number of IMG friendly locations, IMG friendly programs, and that will in turn help, maximize your chances when it comes to landing interviews. But at the same time, again, these things change case by case. You could have different experiences, different skill sets, different connections to an area with less, less programs in the region, but that would be more beneficial for your application. So that's something that's very case by case, and we help, make sure that we take a look at that as well. And the last point that I'll be touching base upon is setting preference. And that's something that not many people commonly, understand or are too familiar with. Setting preferences pretty much, is a section on its own in ERAS, and it asks you, are you more of a rural person? So more, grass, farmy lands, empty lands, suburban, which is a hybrid between urban and rural. So it has, houses, townhouses, shops all over, but it's not too much of, tall city buildings all over the place. And then urban is more big cities like Boston, New York City. And then you have the option of no preference at all. And then most IMG friendly programs are widely dispersed and spread upon amongst, all these preferences. So we typically advise that it may be wiser, again, it's case by case, but that no preference is selected, especially, because of the wide dispersion of a lot of these hospital settings. And that would in turn, help appease or attract to most programs that you're applying to. So at the same time, when you're selecting a geographical preference, when you're selecting a setting preference, a little box will show up under each selection, and it will ask you, what is your rationale? What is your reason? It's just a very short 2-sentence liner. So make sure that whatever you put in there, is very worthwhile, because that's the first thing they see when they look at your application. They read that part, and if your reason for picking these setting preferences or geographical preferences, are genuine and make sense and are convincing for you to be selected for an interview or to be further reviewed for your application, then that would help elevate your application a lot more. And we'll make sure that, we work with you as well as Sarthi students to make sure that, those 2 lines, are worth, go a very long way in helping you maximize your chances for getting interviews. So that's pretty much it from my end.
So yes, thank you. And I think we should take a couple of questions. And of course, me and my team will be there once Yousef leaves. But I'll give you a couple of questions that I see. Maybe we can start answering those. Will other region programs be able to see if I have chosen another area as well? So.
So when you're applying for residency and you select, your 3 core geographical preferences, the only places that will be able to see the region you've selected are the people in the region. So let's say I applied to, the region with New York, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. Only those 3 states will be able to see that I selected that geographical preference. They will not be able to see that I selected, South Atlantic or New England. The only caveat to that is that because you selected 3 regions within, your preferences, everything else outside those regions will get an idea. It's not explicit, but they will understand that you did not select the region. It will show up as an empty box for them on their end.
Okay, so let me add to that because I get a lot of these questions. So let's say a program in California will be able to see that you have not selected that region because you selected the North and Northeast. What if you don't select any region? So no geographical preferences. What does a program in California see? Does it see that you have not selected any geography, or does it see that you have not selected their region?
Yeah, so when you do that as well, no preference is one geographical preference that you will be selecting, and every single program in the country will see that, and they will see the rationale of why you selected no preference. So again, it's case by case, and if you give a very good two-liner of why you selected no preference of region, then most programs would overlook that, understanding that your rationale, your reasons still align with their program.
Okay. Next question that I see, as an IMG from outside US, it doesn't make any difference to me where I match. What should I do?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, it comes down to, a numbers game at the end of the day. If we're talking about maximizing your chances, we have to look at your whole profile. Some students have elective or observership experiences in certain states, in certain regions, and strategizing around that, picking based on your experiences, your case-by-case analysis will help us, maximize your chances. If you have very widely dispersed experiences, volunteering, electives, US clinical experience, that changes things. But if you are mostly centered and focused around New York, for example, then it would make sense that we strategize around picking programs in New York and making sure that your application fits that more.
Okay. Maybe the last question before I let you go. It seems like this year we can have only 3 geographical preferences. Does it mean I should not apply to the programs other than in those areas and they would not interview me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, a lot of programs, many programs view signaling very differently from one to the next. But the idea is if you're very passionate about a program outside of your geographical preferences, you still have a valuable signal that you can use. And that's just another way of portraying your genuine interest, regardless of where this program is inside or outside of your geographical preferences. And when we work with the students at Sarthi, we make sure that every aspect that helps, elevate your application is in line with each other so that you maximize your chances and in a sense compound the likelihood of gaining an interview.
And because a question came, I want to clarify. You do not need to rank the geographical preferences as 1, 2, 3, right? It's just you select 3 and there's no ranking to it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that answers it. Yes, so thank you very much, Yousef. This was very, very helpful. I will stay back and, my team and I will answer all the other questions. I do want to show something else also. Thank you, but any last minute tips before you leave?
Yeah. Yeah, of course. The match is a very, exhausting process. But if you have the mentorship, if you have the guidance, the holding hand throughout this process, it makes things, very, 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 very easy. I've seen examples of, friends and other applicants who applied without any support, without any mentorship, without any help, and they've struggled throughout the cycle, and vice versa. In my case, in the case of a couple of other peers, they've had a very seamless process throughout the match cycle. It was actually enjoyable in a sense. So make sure that you seek, appropriate mentorship, appropriate support, and the Sarthi team does an amazing job of supporting you, and of course, making sure that you maximize your chances into hopefully matching, this cycle, of course.
Thank you very much, Yousef. And this is a good time to take a minute's break and you can put in your questions and then I will reconvene. Thank you for your time, Yousef. So stay back, guys, and we'll answer your questions.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, as you're gathering your questions, we did have other things that we want to discuss. So first of all, I do want to, we do get a lot of questions on how do I select the program. So for those of you who are Sarthi students, our list is going to go live this week and you will have access to the list. For those of you who are not Sarthi students, let me just show it to you very, very quickly how this all works. So let me share my screen first. And I will take questions, so don't worry about that. So this is, hopefully this is visible. This is how, once you log in, you will see the list. So this is, I'm in internal medicine. You'll be able to search for program based on your year of graduation. IMG percentage, very, very big criteria, non-US IMG percent, but there are always programs that don't have data available. So if you click this, you also get those programs which won't have your criteria available, not possible, etc. Then you get into each of the programs. You will be able to see, okay, let me go back. I think there was some issue. So you will be able to see all the criterias here of the program, which is available in Frida, by the way, Residency Explorer, but we have pulled it on our website. And then, if students have matched at the program, so here you see match profile, you will be able to see what Sarthi students have matched at the program. Likewise, if they have interviewed, you will be able to see the profile of the students who have interviewed in terms of step 1 score, CK score, so on and so forth. So that helps you select the program for signaling. That also can help you in your geographical area preference, because you will see which programs at what IMG percentage. If it's not available, we just say -99. But if it's available, then you get to see all the details and you can, then take it from there. So so that's how the Sarthi list works. We do give you all these details that can help you with the data that you have. Let me see if I can see any other program, with a higher percentage. Southeast. No, there's some issue with the list. I think my technical team is working with it. So that's how the Sarthi list works. The other thing, I get a lot of questions and I want to make sure you are aware is there are still a lot of rotations for those of you who are looking. So go to our website right here under rotations, if you can see it. And then you can check out the rotations which are available in August, those which have discounts. So on our homepage under rotations, you will be able to see all the rotations, all the discounts, and it's an Excel sheet that we have put together. So you can click on the location code and you can get the details, but you will see all the rotations that have the discounts and are available in August and September. The other thing is a lot of you have asked for, in the webinars and chats, can I match? This is where my profile is. So my team has opened up my calendar. You can set up time for a profile review with me, I think today and tomorrow. So Sejal, if you want to put that link for profile review, so that it's completely free. You can just set up your time and get a profile review done. So you and I will talk one-on-one, and then we can discuss what all you need to do, how you can improve this time. Then, of course, I think, Sejal, there are a couple of match offers. For those of you who join us by July 31st, there are some discounts that are available. And why we say July is because it takes time to review the profile, to give you strategy, and you need time to implement that. So the sooner you join, the better it is with less than 2 months to go. If there are changes that you think you need to make, then now would be the right time. Let me also see if I can answer these questions. Is it good to send letter of interest to the signal programs? Of course, you can send it to them, and to the unsignal programs. Yes, again, you'll be applying to 150 to 200 programs, and depending on the specialty, the signals are only, maybe 10, 5. So, you definitely need to cast a broader net. If I select no preference for geography, will I have a better chance to have interview with all the programs? Like Yousef mentioned, it is a very case-by-case analysis. There is no such thing that is applicable to everyone. So, for example, it depends on your profile, your scores, where did you do your US clinical experience. You may have family in one region. So, in that sense, it may be better to identify regions and identify signals. So I would say it's a combination of factors. It's very personalized that determines the geography and the programs that you signal. What if program signaling is outside the area selected for geographical signaling? Will that reduce the well, I mean, sometimes it is possible. So for a lot of our students do rotations, say in Hawaii, right? But they will not signal that geography, which has Hawaii. But as long as you can make a compelling case of why you're signaling the program, I think you should be good to go. You may have, like I said, done rotation at that program, or you may have done research with the faculty at that program, or there may be some other connection, but for some reason it is not falling in your geography, then I guess it is okay. So gold and silver signaling, as Yousef explained, just denotes the importance. Gold really means that you place very high value on that program. You want to, more important than silver. That's about it. It is the importance that you place to the program. So obviously, if you signal someone as gold, it conveys to the program that you value that program higher than, say, someone you've signaled as silver. This is the first time they are coming up with this criteria. So again, gold, silver, and no signaling. Remember, there are always limited signals, right? So yes, the program could say, you have only put us a signal, why not gold? Then there are going to be another 140 programs, 150 programs that they will say, oh, you didn't signal us at all. So it's all relative. It forces you to prioritize. But I don't think you should, based on the signal, you should say, okay, I'm not going to apply to the other 140 programs. You will get interviews from non-signal programs also. It's just that signaling is a way for you to prioritize and the program to know that these applicants rate them highly. But again, remember, profile is the most important thing. Without the profile, does not matter. If you don't have a profile for a Johns Hopkins or for a Mayo Clinic or for a Cleveland Clinic, you signal them. Yes, the program will see, okay, you signaled Cleveland Clinic. So Cleveland Clinic, Ohio will see you signaled the program. But if you don't have the profile, it doesn't really matter, right? So focus on the profile. Don't get too hung up on 5 signals, 10 signals. What happens to the other 140 programs? What if we don't signal any program? Will it show to all programs that we have not signaled any? That is a good question. The program will know that you have not signaled them. I don't think it works like a geography that they know you have not signaled any program. But good question. Let me research on this, and probably by the next webinar, we can answer it. I don't have the answer at this point. All right, are there any other questions that I can answer? Like I said, if you want a one-on-one review and you're not a Sarthi student, click on this link that Sejal has sent and you can set up time with me. And again, there are these rotations that are available that I just showed you. And maybe Sejal, you can put the link to the rotations page directly as well. So take a look if you are still looking for some rotations. Take a look at if you are needing help in signaling or other aspects of the plans. So I think we have some offers going on that you can use till July 31st. With that, if there are any last minute questions, let me know. And otherwise, good luck, and I'll see you in one of the next webinars that we do. Can we subscribe to the plans if we are planning to match in 2026? Yes, you can. There's no issue with it. In fact, that may work out very well because you will see other students go through the season. So you will kind of start getting a sense of how the entire match goes. And during your season, you will be able to be prepared in a better way. So yes, you can subscribe to the plans if you are planning for 2026 match, which means you are applying in September 25. What to write in geographical preference if I'm working in this area? Yeah, so anything and everything that you can explain. And this is what our panel also does. Again, you may have a very specific requirement. You may have a very specific need. What you write is what we work with you. Once we review your PS and CV, our panelists will tell you what exactly you should write as you explain your signaling in maybe your personal statement, geographical preferences in your CV and the application. All right, with that, that was all. Thank you very much. And we'll see you in one of the other webinars very soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. We hope that video provided valuable insights for your journey. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And check out our website for details on how we can guide you to a successful match.